What up, y'all? Back again. Today, we're doing Buffalo, New York. Way back when. In the late 1800s, and some of these photos are real early 1900s. But these structures were well in place by then and looked like they had quite a bit of age to them already. So, the narrative is on most of them that they were built between 1800 and 1880. And look at the brickwork on that thing. I mean, it's crazy. This is just Buffalo, and I know Buffalo is a well-known city, but it's still, the population, if you look at it, has not been that great, especially at that time. But what you'll find is, I've noticed these castles that they show, like a what we used to call like the knight shining armor castle, is usually, those are usually used as prisons or armories or some sort of a army type facility. And a lot of these ended up being, and there's a few different things. Some are facilities like some communication company or something. That was a home, and one of the probably Gilded Age mansions. But there'll be post offices, government buildings, libraries, just state offices and things like that. And then colleges, that's another one. And then, of course, the cathedrals is kind of run out of the Catholic Church these days. I think that was a bank. Central terminal, yeah, so transportation as well. And it seems as if between the Catholic Church and the governments, and then you have the oligarchs or the elites that took control, and they own just about everything. I mean, really, outside of maybe your personal property, they own a few people, man. They own and run everything. They have the churches, like I said, the libraries, the colleges, the schools, the jails, insane asylums, transportation, post office, and Capitol buildings, government buildings, legislation buildings, and transportation. And then you have all the old mansions that were from the Gilded Ages. If you look back, you'll find they were owned by the Rockefellers and all the oligarchs that are pretty much in now, or their family. I mean, something like that is, it's like bloodline type stuff, If you look into that, that's why way back when they would have the hemophilia would occur, because people wanted to keep the royalty in their family, and they would procreate with each other. So what would happen is it would cause that blood dyscrasia. Look at these structures. I mean, this is the thing. A lot of people say, well, we could build that. We could build that today. Well, and I know we can't, because I did construction, and we are a far cry from any of this. But if we were to build a structure maybe that size, an imitation of it, because we can't, it would be an imitation. We couldn't build something better than the original, and we couldn't build something equal to the original. In a lot of cases, we couldn't build one pillar in some of these places, and some of them we could almost replicate. My point is this, but we couldn't build the structures with the ability to be as sturdy as these are, as real as these are, and the architectural savviness. That's where I'm at. Could we build something that is as architect savvy as these buildings? Absolutely not. We do not have the ability to. Nobody in humanity has the ability to, And I don't care how skilled your labor worker is or whoever your skilled individual, they cannot do this. They can't replicate this architecture, especially by hand, and then make it look uniform like it wasn't by hand. I mean, these guys were playing, y'all. When they built all these structures, it's worldwide. And if you were to see it in the 1800s, before it all got, all the wars and things that blew it all up, or on purpose, to wipe it out. And then if you saw it before it sunk in the mud as well, and in its glory, that's the other thing. These ceilings are extremely high, built for giants. But even when you have these big open places, we have to throw pillars up. I mean, we almost always do. These guys didn't even have the ability to use certain types of metals and things maybe that we have, but they were able to build firm structures that would take months sometimes. They have building structures that they were knocking down. They said it took like months. Like they would hit it with the wrecking ball and it would bounce off. I mean, like crazy. I saw one just the other day. That was another World's Fair that was there. That's a YMCA, y'all. Come on. These are all repurposed. You don't build a post office that looks like that. You know what I mean? And hotels. That's the other one. But yeah, you don't build. If you see what some of these old post offices look like, I think I did a thing on some of them. Just ones I could find real quick. But they're look at this. They're going into the ground, y'all. And don't call them basements. That was a bank. And that's what it looks like today. It's got all that new stuff around it. And these clocks, a lot of these things you see, clock towers and things, there was some other piece in there, a mechanism for something else. And then these organs were used, to do something technology-wise. And the spires, there's towers on every one of these buildings. Why? I mean, if you don't believe in the electricity piece, but it is true because there's a guy that can explain that. And those are all copper. That's why they're all tarnished now, because the patina on the copper, just like Statue of Liberty, turned to green. So did the copper on these buildings. But copper is a conductor. It's the best, one of the best. Of course, gold I think is the best, or silver, but that's highly expensive. And I don't know how it would do with the weather, because it would tarnish as well. But I bet the copper looked fine. Like I said, if during a 1,000-year reign, it was probably more beautiful than it is today, because it had the glory of God on it, man. It had Christ was here. I mean, gee whiz, But they're all sunk in the mud. Look at that. Look at that. Like, to build that in the 1800s, this is the other thing. You have to get some average people just coming off these boats. If this is all America, this is Buffalo, y'all. So you got a bunch of randoms and put them to work to build these things? Come on. And then you got to drag this stuff from somewhere. Would you use a horse? A wooden wheel? And then who did that? Do that again, please. See, this is the thing. People that think we could build it today, yeah, we can build it today. Okay, well, here's the other thing. Do you think you can build it with the equipment that they were supposed to have? But even if you could build it, go out there and build you something. I bet you would quit, you would cry, you would admit you were wrong, and you would know by then. See, that's the thing. A lot of y'all haven't worked construction, but I have for years. I did construction, and I did it even as a teen. But I framed houses, I did concrete work, I did heat and air work. I have a degree in mechanical work. Give me a like, y'all, please. Thank you. Love you. Bye.